All right. What is up? Hope all of you are doing well. I'm doing well. Um, just working, grinding, doing what I need to stay afloat. You know, keeping positive energy around me, keeping positive people around me, because that's what keeps you thriving. As you can see, I'm trying to grow out a little beard. It looks a little messed up. My little patchy area, but I'm just letting it grow. Eventually it's gonna blossom into something real nice, and we're gonna get a good illusion going. I'm trying to get a beard. Some people only get like a stubble, so I'm sitting here complaining about this, but I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who wish they even can get this, like complaining about this little shit and the connection too. Let me know if anybody in there wants to grow out a beard and doesn't really grow a full beard and struggles with that wants one. I'll be interested in, you know, to see if anybody has that. But anyway, today I just want to get my thoughts. We got YouTube available, so I want to get my thoughts on Trump. All right, and why I'm going to vote for Trump. So, as we all know and we all seen, he just had an assassination attempt, on his life, by a kid that was literally a Republican, went by the same values and standards as conservatives, but then just up and tried to kill him. I don't know. That seems kind of wild to me, but I don't know. You got the conspiracy theorists, and I'm a conspiracy theorist to a certain point. I don't rule nothing out. It could have been set up. They could have tried to kill him. I don't know. The main point is that he was, there was an assassination attempt on him, and I think a lot of this stems from him continuing to go. With the Stormy Daniels case and all that. Every single thing they throw at him, and it doesn't work, he keeps going. So unfortunately, in my opinion, when you go too far and you got too much power, hey, I don't know. People will go through great lengths to get him out of here. So here's my thing about Trump. Okay, there's a lot of just narratives and established norms that people go by. This is a realistic perspective, so I'm being real about it. I'm going to give my opinion that I think is just being realistic. We have these established norms that, white people, well, so-called white people are racist, black people are thugs, Hispanic people are in the cartel or live in a house with 5 people or illegals. This is just established norms and stereotypes that are just put on somebody by their skin color. Remember, there's no such thing as racism, only skinism and skin picking. So I refer to it as racism because that's everybody knows, but we got to get out of that. There's no race. It's only skinism or skin picking. You don't hate a person because of their skin. You hate them because of their culture, whether it's ghetto culture, white culture, black culture. You don't like how they live and how they carry themselves. But anyway, my thing with Trump that I think people don't really pay attention to is, okay, he could be a racist, right? Apparently Joe Biden has said some racist things about black people, so-called black people, right? Maybe Bush is. Shit, maybe Obama is. Hell, I would say myself that everybody in America has been racist at some point in their life. But there's a difference between being racial and racist and just hating somebody. I honestly believe that anybody, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever, has had something happen to them by an opposite race, right? And got mad. Let's say a black person, right? Got mad that the black person did something to them. Got really mad and called them a racial slur in their mind. Maybe they weren't even around. They just, after they left, oh, stupid N and all this. But really wasn't racist. They were just really mad. And that word has just been integrated into the world, and it's established what's happened. Whether you're brainwashed to believe everything that they've told you, that, yeah, these people are like this, doesn't matter. The fact is that it's been put in your head, and when you get angry, people don't understand this, or when you feel a certain way, it's designed to get you to think automatically towards that way, right? Or, someone black, oh, stupid, C word, the racist word that black people use for white people, or, the C word or the B word for Hispanics, or, the Y word or the C word for Asians, the racial slur, you know what I mean. But I think with Trump, in my opinion, I think the biggest thing with him, I don't know, he hasn't really exhibited anything racist except for, putting the lady out of the house, black or whatever. But that was kind of like alleged or whatever. But my whole thing is, most of those politicians have probably been racist towards all, races or whatever. Because racism is just prevalent in America. There's nothing you could do about it. It's an idea. And even though I guarantee you there's people that that are racist, I have to say racist so you guys can understand, that don't appear to be racist or show that they're racist, but they really are, because they can't in this modern society or else they'll be canceled. But my whole thing with Trump is, I don't think it's about racism, it's about spoiled brattism. This is what I think. See, Trump has been rich like all of his life. Remember, a small loan of $1 million that my dad gave was like, hell, I wish I had a small loan of $1 million, right? Trump has been rich all of his life. He's had everything handed to him. So, he had to work hard for what he got. Don't get me wrong, but not as much as the average American, regardless of their color, that had to struggle. Blacks and Hispanics mostly, but there's white people that struggle too, and had to really get everything from the mud. He came privileged, so like Richie Rich, I don't know if you guys ever seen that. As a kid, he was always getting his way, getting what he wants, and you can see that in how he does it. When he doesn't get his way, he does everything he can to get his way. He refuses to, settle for, oh no, you didn't win, or oh no, you didn't get this. Like, nah, it must be something else. Because he's used to getting his way. So that's what gives him that character, that unpleasant character that everybody hates. He's just spoiled, and he just gets what he's gonna do whatever he can to get what he wants. Now, my whole thing for voting for Trump is not because of Trump. It's for the policies and what that side stands for. See, what people got to understand is, if you agree with the ideas and the standards and morals of one side more than the other, you should vote for that side. Meaning, the Republican or conservative, whatever. If you agree with the Democratic side more with what they're trying to do and all of their ideas and all ideologies, you should vote for that. It shouldn't be about race or whatever that is, because I guarantee you there's racist people on the Democrats and there's racist people on Republicans. That's not going to change. Okay? You can't just because the Democrats look like they favor blacks or Hispanics more, it doesn't mean that they're not racist. They just do it in a different way. Right? And they get a grip for those votes. So my reason for it is because I agree with what the so-called right wants to do in the direction they want to go in. We all know what they think about what's right and wrong, and what the left thinks about what's right and wrong. I honestly, in my opinion, remember a time back in the 90s or 80s or 2090s, this country was balanced. Okay, it was balanced. You always had the left and you always had the right? But it was never too far left and it was never too far right. It was always balanced, right? Because there are two different groups of people who have two different understandings of what America should be, right? But the way that we made it work in this country is by having the two sides. That's why you have the conservative side and the Democratic side, having the two sides and taking turns, right? It sounds weird and it looks weird because that's how they would do it. When the Republicans get in, they trash all the Democratic policies and whatever laws they put in place or how much welfare and this and that. They scrap all that out. And then when the Democrats get in, they scrap all of the Republicans, whatever. It was literally like taking turns, right?
It's like, all right, cool, Republicans in, now we get to ride out with our benefits. Okay, if they got 8 years, hey, you got 8 years. If they only got one term, then you got 4, right? But whatever it was, you got to live like a conservative for the 4 years or the 8 years. Or you got to live like a Democrat for the 4 or the 8 years. Nowadays, in my humble opinion, it's almost 75 or 80% left, right? Anybody who thinks like a conservative or agrees with conservative views is completely like pushed out or shunned or called negative names and stuff like that. This is just facts, right? So, in my opinion, from what I remember back in the days, it wasn't like that. Of course, they had different disagreements. They went back and forth, but it was balanced. It's not balanced anymore, right? So, back to Trump. Now, Trump as a person, as a private person, I'm not too fond or too keen of him. I'm not. And a lot of those things they're saying about Trump is true, in my opinion, right? Being a con artist or doing this or getting whatever he wants and this. I agree, right? But here's the thing. Don't think that Biden or anybody else on the other side isn't doing the same exact things. Trump's is just out in the air. It's just out there, so you just see it. But when you are in power and you're, in a different standard, you live by a different standard than regular people. People in positions of power, they live in a different lifestyle. They go by a different group of standards, and that's just the way it is. All right. The only difference with Trump is Trump he's so blatant with it because, like I said, it's really about him just being spoiled and getting everything that he wanted, which kind of results in him just saying whatever the hell he wants and not giving a damn and putting it all out there. When you have money, you get, you feel like you do whatever you want. You just this and this and this and this and that, whatever. He just doesn't hold it back. He just puts it out there. That's my opinion. That's what it is. In my opinion, that's what it is, there's plenty of stuff you could look up on Biden that he's done. So neither one of them are perfect, right? And let's be real. The president doesn't control every single thing. You still got Congress, you still got the House or whatever, right? It really depends on how much power the House has, who has the House, who has the Congress. From when let's say Trump wins and he wants to do this outlandish things, if they don't have the House and the Senate, they're just going to block it. The only thing you can do is use executive orders, and that's it, right? So, yeah, that's the way I see it. Initially, Trump is really just used to getting his way, right? So he just puts it on out there. The Democrats or, Joe Biden or all them, both of them are the same. But my main point is, what side do you agree with? What values do you agree with? Okay. So, the right has their values and the left has their values. And the way that it is right now, it's all left. It really is. And growing up, I was kind of too young. Of course, I was too young in the early 90s or whatever. But when I became old enough to vote, I still didn't vote. Because I was like, I don't care. It wasn't until when Obama started, when he came out, it was like, okay, I just like the way Obama speaks. I mean, I didn't like all of the policies, but I liked a lot of his policies that were cool. I agree with them, but I didn't agree with all of them. But I thought he was very intelligent. I thought it would be good for the country for there to be a semi-African American. He's not really black, he's half white. But I thought it would be a good idea just to have that change and to see what would happen if he was in. What was he going to do? But in my mind, they're all politicians. See, Obama's a politician, so he speaks very well. He speaks very intelligently. And it was more for the image of so-called black people, right? For it to put a positive image on so-called black people, right? And it's like, it's not that I wanted to vote for him just because he was black, but it was like, you have to think what other opportunity is going to come this way where, there's a semi-black dude running, It's like, okay, for the first term, at least for the first term, he was almost guaranteed going to get it because he speaks so well and it's never been done before. But we have to see his performance. We have to see how he does, and for his first years, he did all right. And he didn't do too bad, but I think it could have been better. But, all the stuff that was supposed to be happening with Hope and all this and bringing people together. No, he was just like a politician. That's why none of that ever happened, But was it a positive light? Yeah, I think so. Because, it's something that may not happen again, But it was his character. Obama's character and the way he speaks and how he unites, he just entrances you, right? So that's what I liked about him, right? As for Trump doesn't have a character like that, They live two completely different lifestyles. And don't get it twisted. Obama had money too. He went to the best schools and all that. He's just all the rest of them are just people that just hold it in. They don't put it out there like that, right? So Trump, on the other hand, he's outlandish and he says what he wants, when he wants, how he wants, no matter how you feel. He doesn't give a fuck about what you feel about. None of that. He's just reckless with it, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm voting for Trump for the conservative side and the conservative values so that they can get in and kind of balance this country again, right? Because now that I'm older, I realize that I agree with more of their ideas to push this country forward. But that's what makes it America, right? You can have your own independent thought. You should be allowed to say what you want. You should be allowed to have your own opinion. I don't care what it is. All right. As long as you're not hurting people or stealing or beating people up or burning people's houses down, everybody should have the right to have their own opinion and say what they want and feel the way that they feel. All right. You should never be forced to do things that you don't agree with. That's not America. All right. When it comes to that point, I realize that there's no balance and balance needs to be restored, period. All right. And the way that balance is to be restored is to get it back, get the other side to get back in, to knock it up, to tone that down and get it back to balance so that the Democrats has their thing, their points and their views to a certain point, and the right has their views and everything to a certain point. That's what made the country work. As soon as you go strongly towards one side, this is my opinion. Just be real about it. Do you want it to be on this side or do you want it to be on that side? If it's going to be this one side, then just get rid of the other side and put them all in there. Stop BSing around. Stop saying like, oh yeah, well, this side is demons. They're horrible people and all that. Whatever, because I don't know what to do. I was taught that this is a free country where we could be what we want and say what we want. It's not like that anymore, right? My opinion is because, the left is just too much. It's just gotten out of control. So my whole thing, this is bigger than Trump. This is not about Trump. This is about restoring order and restoring balance. So it doesn't matter what color you are, race. It's about what you want. Now, if you agree with, more of the ideologies from the left, more power to you. But if you agree with more ideologies from the right, more power to you. People shouldn't be judged by their political views or what their standards are. Because regardless if you're a hardcore leftist or hardcore right, you can still coexist with each other. You just have different views. It's just like someone who believes in God and someone who doesn't believe in God. Like, I believe in God. But there's atheists. I have family members that are atheists. So what? Okay, you don't believe in God. Cool. I'm not going to push it down your throat. I'm not going to say, oh, you're going to go to hell and all this. No, you're an atheist. Respect somebody's thoughts. Respect how they are. If they say, hey, I want to learn and I want to, then cool. If they say, hey, please don't, I don't agree with that, cool. But don't tell them not to, don't force them to believe, and you don't force me not to believe. It's simple. Right? That's what it comes down to. This is just being real, man. Be real. There's too much fakeness now. Be real. All right? That's my opinion. So, and another thing, because, you know, I was really iffy on Trump, and I know how he is, and I'm a very good judge of character. I can see when people are bullshitting. He bullshit a lot. But a lot of times he, you know, they bash everything he says, but a lot of times he says some real shit. Like, he says some real stuff, dude. Like, I see him speaking and be like, damn, that's real. And then he'll say the BS, and I'll be like, all right, that's BS, you know? But not every single thing he says is wrong or crazy. It's just the media just go, oh, yeah. Not every single thing he says. He says a lot of stuff. He be conning and stuff. That's cool. But what really blew me away, this is what really blew me away. It was crazy. When after, you know, the assassination attempt, and this man is up here talking, because here's the thing. People talk a lot of big game, especially politicians and all that kind of stuff. They talk a big game like, oh, yeah, I'm this, I'm rowdy, oh, yeah. Like, you know, Trump is real big on that. Like, oh, yeah, he acts big and acts tough and, you know, he ain't afraid and all this kind of stuff, right? And then when stuff hits the fan, you know, this is my main point. So when he was at the rally and giving his speech, and the bullet literally grazed his ear and almost killed him if he didn't turn his head to the side, and the man comes down and he comes up, and the Secret Service is trying to pull him off of the stage, and he refuses to go and throws up a fist. I was like, that just blew my mind. Because here's the thing. If he would have been scared, or if he would have been like, oh, heck no, get me up out of here. Get me up out of here. No. If he would have started panicking, I wouldn't hold that against him. Somebody trying to kill you. He could shoot he didn't even know if they got the shooter or not. They could take another shot. You know? I would have been like, oh, man, hell no, get me down. But the fact that he gets back up and throws up a fist and they're trying to pull him off and he refuses to go, that's different. That's different. So I was like, okay, I don't know, man. That was very different. That means I know a lot of the things Trump does for his reputation, and he's a businessman. You guys got to understand he's a businessman, and a lot of things he does do for himself and, you know, for his recognition and his name and his brand. But at the same time, for him to do something like that shows that he really does, in some sense, care about the country and where the country's going. This is all I'm saying. I'm looking at the other things, not the things that the media are telling me. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you hate Trump and you think he's a scumbag and you want to vote for President Biden, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if there's somebody who messes with Trump and they won't vote for Trump, let them vote for Trump. Maybe they have the same idea as me. I'm not trying to vote for it because I love Trump and I'm going to go to every MAGA rally and wear a shirt or whatever. No, it may be because of just the policies and the side, you know? Now, my whole thing is I really wasn't a fan of how he is in his character. I was like, what is he going to do to make me at least skew his character a little bit? When he did that, that blew my mind. When he got up with that fist, oh man, I was like, wow, this man, that's crazy. And refusing to get pulled off. So that means he's willing to die right there for the people. So that means he's really trying to fight for the country, right? So, yeah, I mean, we got to get this whole race thing out of here. If you're black, you have to vote Democrat. If you're white, you have to vote Republican. No, you vote for what you want to vote for. You vote for what side you agree with more. Period. Right? And here's the thing. There may be a time where there's a Democratic nominee and I see how he or she is and I like their ideas, I'm going to vote for him. Same thing with the Republican. If I see their ideas and I see where the country is currently and how it is and how the relations are and how certain ideas are perceived, if it's a little bit more balanced, I'm going to be like, all right, let's go back because we cool now, right? That's why we got to where we got today by it being normal. It's not normal anymore. None of this has been normal because it's too far left. The same thing if it would be too far right. Right? We have all these far left ideologies, right? Imagine if it was far right. Imagine if it was all right now. Imagine if all the news channels was all right instead of all left. Right? Imagine if they just kicked everybody off of welfare. Imagine if abortions were illegal everywhere, period, no matter what. People from the left will be going wild, as they should, because they don't agree with that. And it's taking all of their ideas away completely. Meaning, it's not balanced. We've been going off of a balanced system for years, and that's what made us thrive. In order to change that, you got to be clear of which way we decide to go in this country. Is it right or is it left? If it's one side, then just come out and say, hey, look, these sides are evil. Let the politicians from the right, hey, the left is evil, whatever, we're going all for this. And if the left did to say the right is evil, blah, 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 just push for it. They do, but they don't do it in a serious manner, right? But there's a problem with that. Everybody wouldn't agree because we've already been trained to live in a balanced, unified system. So in order to change to one side completely, that's going to be damn near impossible because this is how we were built. This is what we know. You think you're just going to change those ideas? You think you're just going to say, hey, no, don't believe in that no more? You think you could force somebody who loves pizza just to stop eating pizza? You think you're going to force the Ku Klux Klan to stop hating black people? It's not going to happen. Let's just be real, man. Be real. Whatever, man. That's all I got to say. I said I was going to make a video on Trump, my ideas on Trump. And it's good I waited because look at all the stuff that happened, man. But anyway, hope you guys are all doing, I'm going to make a video from time to time on issues or life or reactions. That's what I'm going to do. All right. And everything else in between. But go ahead. I expect people to blast the comment now. Now, this is something I expect people to blast on because this is a touchy subject, especially when it comes to Trump and Biden. Let me know. You messing with Biden or you messing with Trump? Either way, you're still my boy. You're still my people. You're still people that I mess with. I don't care what your thoughts are. If you're far left, cool. If you're far right, cool. But can we respect each other? We don't have to talk about politics. We're going to marry people within our same ideologies or have friends within our same, but when we come together, we could just let bygones be God. We could just be like, cool, let's just coexist and talk about the thing that we're interested in. Like if it was the scooters or video games, there's no issues with that. And respect each other, treat each other with kindness. Simple. That's all I got to say, man. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. If ever there's something I want to get off my chest and express to my little 500 people, I'm cool. That's all I need. Give me your feedback. I'm out.